Cook me some chicken. Smell good. T.O.P. I'm gonna get T.O.P. What?
You know when a TV show starts by saying, "Do not attempt. This is done by a
By the way, I didn't see Ben of the Week for a long
trained professional." How the hell do you become a trained professional at? Well, this is how you become a trained professional at. I was damn obsessed with TLC's My Strange Addiction growing up, which is probably largely responsible for the way I am now. But it's always mystified me. How could these people actually live like this? Well, I'm gonna test them all out to see if you can actually live like that.
My name is Jennifer, and I'm addicted to eating mattresses. I like my mattress plain and straight up. I know mayonnaise, butter, none of that.
The two classic condiments of mattress, mayonnaise and butter. She consumed more than 8 mattresses since her... 8.
I start off with the good stuff. The good stuff to me is the pillow top itself. Then I go down to this part.
Do you think she ever like showed down with a bed bug as they're eating the mattress as well, and they like fight over the little mattress crumbs? Or maybe she just eats them. Maybe she just fucking pops them in her mouth.
I'm done with the mattress when it smells funny, or if I get down to where it's just springs.
In some ways, it's like she's eating chicken off the bone, or like ribs. You know when a TV show starts by saying the ribs are box.
Hey, y'all remember like some of his shorts? I remember like watching him. Like, I don't know what like.
I can only fall asleep to loud noises, so tonight I played some mukbang videos on full volume. And I also tried blasting that one girl who goes in all of her songs, and I was about to go to sleep like a baby when I heard a banging at my door, and I realized it was probably my insane neighbor who was literally named Karen. But when I got up and walked down to the door, there was nothing but an envelope that said, "Use these." So I brought it inside and opened it up, and she had sent me her nasty, crusty, earwax-covered AirPods that smelled like Fritos. And at first I was like, this is a human rights violation, and I'm probably diseased now. Until I saw the opportunity to suit up in a hazmat suit and rinse the brain caca off of them so that they look new, and then I could sell them to someone in my neighborhood for a profit. So I made a listing for like $150, and this one dude said he would buy it if I could meet him by the nuclear waste runoff. So I Ubered over there, and when I got there, I saw a bunch of money just sitting under some leaves. Regardless, I just sprinkled the AirPods by it and then went home with $150 in like 4 different currencies. But it's okay, because I just ordered a bass-boosted speaker with the money from the AirPods. And when it comes, I'm gonna have a big old party, courtesy of Karen. I can only fall asleep to loud. So I was watching my local 7-Eleven burn down today when I saw a shirt or something in the bushes. And when I walked over, I saw it was a Walmart employee uniform that someone just left there. So I decided to try it on, even though it had a stain on it that looked like, milk. But that's when I got the idea to go to Walmart and see how long it would take them to notice that I don't work there. And I was just walking around in Walmart as a fellow employee. So the first thing I did was give myself a good employee discount on a few things I found. And then I was looking for something to do when I saw the phone for announcements just sitting there. And I was super nervous, but I picked it up and said, "Attention shoppers, everything is free for the next hour." And then I hung up and panicked and tried to find a getaway. And I saw the employees only area. So I went inside and it led me to an elevator, which eventually led me out the main entrance. And when I finally made it out of there, the security was outside with its flashing lights. So I quickly took off my uniform, threw it in the bushes, and ran. So I was watching my local 7-Eleven. I was getting my teeth fixed today, because last week I tried one of those Bang energy drinks that all those TikTokers promote, and it tasted like urine and made my teeth fall out. Anyways, as I was sitting there, I accidentally popped out the ushy gushy thing that was sitting at the back of my throat, and it fell on the floor, so I picked it up off the ground and popped it back in without wiping it off or anything. But then when I got home, I felt something sharp in my mouth and noticed I had a fingernail glued to my tooth, and I flipped my shit. I was so grossed out, and I tried ripping it off, but it was stuck on. And then I tried using a fork to scrape it off, but that didn't work. And then I tried playing dentist, and all I did was knock out another tooth. And then I realized I need something powerful to get it off. So I walked over to the local power plant near me to try and zap it off. And I climbed up a power line and bit down on it when zap. I woke up and I checked my lip and the fingernail was gone. And I was so happy, so I grabbed my phone and a lightning bolt shocked me. And that's when I realized the power line had given me powers. And I was Mr. Electrodad. Last weekend, me and some pals and Mr. Beast gathered around to sacrifice a giant minion for fun. But after we killed it to death, I was like, now what? And Mr. Beast said,
Dave is finally dead. So is this stupid trend.
but I thought to myself, that's kind of awkward because to me it wasn't a trend and I got a giant minion tramp stamp tattoo a few days before. And I was so embarrassed that I got in my car and drove around looking for a laser tattoo removal place, but the only one that I could find in my town went out of business when they accidentally cut someone's leg off. And it also looks like the back room. So I ordered a tattoo laser gun off of Shein. And when it arrived a week later, I got ready to use it after accidentally burning a hole in my eyeball. But I reached behind me and started burning it off, and it smelled like burnt chicken for about an hour. But I thought it was essentially gone. Until I was at Walmart a week later when I saw this lady drop her toe fungus medication. And when I bent down to pick it up for her, the scar popped out and she screamed and thought I had monkeypox. And I was like, shut the hell up, wordy ass bitch. Let's see those toes you need to scream for. Last weekend, me and some pals and Mr. Beast gathered around to sacrifice a giant minion for fun. So I have a chunk of dry ice from buying human organs off the black market, but I was thinking, how do you even get rid of dry ice? Like, it doesn't melt because it's literally frozen air and it repels water, which means it's homophobic. Oh wait, I mean hydrophobic. Anyways, I'm clinically stupid, so I broke a piece in half and plopped it in my toilet to see what would happen. And I was making these fun little bubbles, so I filled the bathtub and grabbed the rest of it and threw it in some water to see what would happen. And anyways, that was a mistake because I filled the whole shower up with gases, and I remembered it's not frozen air, it's frozen CO2, and I was getting lightheaded and I wasn't trying to die. So I took the piece out and I brought it to the sink and I jammed it down the drain as best as I could so it would go away. And then I took a deep breath of relief until I looked down to see I was standing in a puddle of water and boom, my pipes exploded. There was water spraying me everywhere in the face. It got everywhere. Anyways, I may have caused a catastrophic water main failure in my whole neighborhood and flooded 102 buildings. So, I don't think the vegan chicken nuggets were worth it. So I have a chunk of dry ice from buying human organs off the black market, but I was thinking, I wanted to go to Chili's today, but it was burning down. So instead, I went to go get sushi. But it was one of those places where it comes on a conveyor belt and you can take what you want, except for this piece of shrimp that refused to cooperate and wouldn't release. But it's okay, because they also have a screen you can order from. So I ordered myself some crispy rice and it zoomed by faster than I could say, no, officer, I had nothing to do with the Chili's burning down. Anyways, then I saw these nasty cubes that look like Minecraft gravel and I lost my appetite. So I put all the plates down the chute since I was done with them when I wondered what's actually in there. And it said, please don't insert hands or objects, but what did I do? Hit record on my phone and insert it into the slot, which was really smart because then I dropped it down into the chute and had to call over a waiter in shame, and he told me that non-plate items go out the garbage chute around back. So I went down this creepy corridor and finally found it, and when I grabbed my phone and sat down to check what footage I had recorded, I saw... I wanted to go to Chili's today. Today, my worst nightmare happened. So I bought this fun shirt, which had this cute little accessory on it, which actually isn't a fun accessory. It's a big exploding ink security tag that they just forgot to take off of my $50 shirt. So anyways, now I'm panicking because I'm too nervous to go back into the store and ask them to take it off. So I tried pulling it off with my teeth, but I didn't want the ink to explode on my face, staining me permanently blue like a Smurf. So I looked online, and apparently you need to freeze the tag to get it off. So I went to go throw it in the freezer, and for some reason there was raw chicken in the freezer, and this isn't my house, this is an Airbnb. And then I put the shirt in the freezer and waited all night, and I was getting impatient, so I decided to just pull it out and grab 2 forks, a pizza cutter, some tongs, and some spoons. And I took the forks and jammed it in the tag, and it was not working. And I got mad, so I whipped it against the ground, and then I stomped on it, and then I grabbed a chair, and I used that, and then I tried some spoons, and it still didn't work. So I laid down on the ground until I realized I could microwave it. So I put it in for almost 10 minutes, and it started smelling a little spicy. So I took it out and used the forks again, and I got it off! And now I have the security tag, so if you want me to detonate it, subscribe, and maybe I will explode it out. Today, my worst nightmare. Today, I snuck an AirTag tracking device into an Ed Sheeran concert so that I could somehow stick it onto him to track him down, because that's for the FBI to know. Anyways, randomly BTS opened for him, and then Eddie was about to come on stage, so I had the genius idea to use an extra mask and fashion it into a slingshot so that when he performed, I walked up to the front of the stage, locked onto my target, and bam, it flew through the air. And now I know there's no way of it sticking to him. However, they have to pack up the stage, and it's probably gonna travel with him. So anyways, I saw Doja Cat and Lil Nas X, and then left the concert and went home. Then the next morning, I was getting a reading on the AirTag finder, and it said that he was in Las Vegas. So I flew to Las Vegas, and when I got to the airport, I thought I had already found him, but the thing is, I had a little bit of spicy grape juice on the plane, so I stumbled over to the man and shouted, Ed! And it was just a random man. So, yeah. Today, I snuck an AirTag. Today, I went to go see Billie Eilish at Coachella, but before she came on, there was this dude wearing a big sparkly onesie who opened for her that kept staring at me, and I was thinking to myself, what's up? Do you have a staring problem, buddy? But anyways, he did a little dancey dance thing, and Shrek was in the audience and seemed to love it. But his cameraman kept getting in the way and then turned to me, and the next thing I knew, Rewind that. He put me on the big screen, and I freaked out and went behind the cameraman and started unplugging random cables from his camera, and it turned off the video on the screen. But anyways, then Billie Eilish came on and kept invading my personal space and staring at me, and I was like, do celebrities never get taught that staring is rude? Why are you yelling at me? But then she did her little dancey dance and left the stage, and I took a golf cart home from Coachella, and when I woke up the next morning, I checked my phone to see a DM from Billie herself asking if I was at her show with a winky face. And I replied, no, silly Billie, here's a restraining order, leave me alone. And I went back to bed. Today I went to go see Billie Eilish at Coachella. My favorite thing to do right now is guess people's passwords of their social media accounts, because I've actually managed to successfully hack a few accounts. And I also enjoy changing some captions around without people noticing and tagging myself so people think me and Zendaya are besties. So today I managed to log into Shawn Mendes's account, and then I decided to DM some people some pickup lines like Olivia Rodrigo, which might have made me responsible for him and Camila Cabello breaking up. But anyways, today I wanted to get into Instagram's Instagram account to, I don't know, post a picture of myself or something. And then I remember the guy who owns Instagram is Mark Zuckerberg. So when I tried logging in with a bunch of different passwords and none were working, I realized it kept asking me if I'm not a robot. And since old Marky Poo is a robot, I left it blank, and then boom, I was in, baby. And I was stressed about what I should post to like 400 million people, so I just chose this random picture of me at the beach, and now 500,000 people have liked it. So thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for the validation. My favorite thing to do right now is Today, I hiked up to the Hollywood sign, but there was a fence blocking access to it, so I committed a little bit of a crime, and I managed to get through, and I changed the sign to Holly Boob by covering the W with a B for boob. Anyways, I was walking down, and I saw helicopters flying overhead, and I was getting kind of nervous, so I ran into the bushes, and I hid from them, because apparently I was on government property, or whatever that means. Anyways, I got an emergency alert on my phone, and when I checked, it said that there was a $2 million bounty for a 6-foot man in green, so I realized I'll have to live off the grid forever in these bushes, with my only food being Lady Gaga Oreos that I brought as a snack. Anyways, I managed to sneak away to a swamp, but I heard the choppers getting closer. But that's when I looked in the distance and saw none other than a 6-foot man in green in the swamp. I had to act fast, so I grabbed my phone and I dialed 911 and I ratted on Shrek. Anyways, Shrek was arrested and charged with 8 felonies, and I got a $2 million reward. So now I'm rich and I bought a mansion. Thanks, Shrek. Today, I hiked up to the Hollywood sign. I was picking the ticks out of my dog's fur so I could collect them and inject them with acid until they pop. But just before I could even get to doing that, my phone went off. And when I checked it, my friends had invited me to go rollerblading with them. So I dropped what I was doing and I met them at the roller derby rink. Now, I paid $10 to rent some skates, but listen, these babies were impossible to put on, and when I stood up, it felt like I had fettuccine noodles for legs. But it was actually really fun, except there was a small child who kept trying to chase me, and I'm allergic to small children, so I tried to avoid him at all costs. But then he got too close to me and I ran him over. And in the distance, I heard some lady who I think was his mom screaming at me about her little overgrown fetus. I want the camera! So I left the roller rink and escaped into the mall, but I could still hear her screaming in the distance, so I started running. And then that's when I saw a security guard and told him that there was a psychopath chasing me. And thankfully, he snuck me out of the mall. And turns out she got arrested later for biting an employee. So I was picking the ticks out of my dog's fur so I could collect them. I was walking in the store when I passed a window with a really cool design in it. And I searched up what that design is, and it's something called Boulet Holays. Anyways, I made it to 7-Eleven and someone was stealing. Hello? Hello? But anyways, I was about to buy 8 bottles of 5-Hour Energy so I can stay up for a week straight, when I reached into my pocket and my wallet was gone. I told the clerk I couldn't pay, and then I panicked and I left. And I was like, where's my wallet? I must have dropped it while I was walking here or something. And that's when I got a notification from my bank saying that someone was making purchases on my card. I ran home to see what they were buying, and I opened my laptop and I saw that they had bought 27 boats. And I felt so impressed. I'm Special Agent Ben Almeida, and welcome back to Catching a Thief. The night before, I placed the wallet right in the view of a camera I had set up, and I followed the thief home using a Bluetooth chip hidden in the wallet. And as I approached the house, I got ready with my flashlight to bust in there. But that's when I got tackled and put in handcuffs. I looked up and the thief turned out to be a different FBI agent. Hello, my name is Ben Almeida, and this is Catching an FBI Agent Catching the Thief. I was walking in the store when I passed a window with a really cool... Today I made a fake plane ticket with my DIY skills so I could go to the Tokyo Olympics, because I think I'm really good at gymnastics. But the problem is Japan is only letting actual Olympic athletes go there because of COVID. So I finessed the system by buying a random plane ticket to Alabama so I could get into the airport. So once I got to the airport, I found the flight that was headed to Tokyo. And then I walked over to the gate to sit down, and I crossed off Alabama on my ticket. And then I used it while they were boarding, and I managed to board the flight to Tokyo. And after I took my seat, I was just sitting there realizing I'm really going to Japan Japan, huh? And then we took off, and I was enjoying the flight until I looked at the safety manual and saw that I was on one of those malfunctioning Boeing 737 MAX planes. You know, the ones that decide they want to be a car while in midair. And that's when I started feeling really bad turbulence. And then I remembered my phone wasn't on airplane mode. And then that's when it got really bad, because the plane started falling apart. And all of a sudden, the oxygen mask came down, and I just accepted that the last song I'll have ever listened to in my life was Ed Sheeran! Anyways, the ground was getting closer and closer, and oh, I actually just fell asleep. Anyways, now I'm in. I woke up today and decided to go to Claire's to get my ear pierced, because I saw they're doing it free if you give them your organs. So I walked in, and I picked my piercing, and then signed away the rights to my kidneys. And then they marked the ear that I wanted pierced, and then boom, they legally stabbed me. But anyways, I went home, and I was so excited to take off my mask and see it, and they had pierced the mask string into my ear hole! And I started freaking out, of course, and needed to get it off, so I tried finding pliers or something, but I grabbed scissors and used them to cut the mask off so it doesn't rip my ear off. And then I looked in the mirror, and I thought, maybe it looks cool, but it didn't. So I grabbed my computer to try and find the Claire's customer service line so I can sue them. But they closed at 6 p.m. and it was 6:30. So I went to bed and cried myself to sleep. And when I woke up, oh, it was infected. So now I think my ear is gonna fall off in 2 to 5 business days. So please let me know what music I should listen to before I have one ear left. I woke up today and decided to go to Okay, so I bought one of those things that lets you FaceTime your dog and shoot treats at them. But today I was looking at the camera and I noticed that she's been taking all her treats behind the couch for some reason. So I went to go see what she was doing with them, and she's been storing them so that she can pretend like I never gave her one in the first place and then ask for more like the fat little bitch she is. And yes, I can call her that because bitch means female dog, and she is a female dog. Anyways, I had enough of her scamming me, so I decided to empty out the treat machine and fill it with her least favorite treat. Green beans, baby! I put a bean on the plate and cut it up into small little pieces, and then I loaded it into the machine, and I shot it out at her, and at first she didn't want to eat it, but then she got bored, and she ate them, and I was so happy because I thought I got her on a diet, until I heard a weird coughing noise come from downstairs. I ran downstairs to see what was happening, and that's when I saw her on my beanbag bed, next to the beans which she had thrown out. Oh, I got beans in my bed! Okay, so I bought one of those things. Today I went to the fair so I could try and go on that tilt-a-whirl ride that was about to collapse in this TikTok that I saw. But when we were standing in line for it, I noticed some sparks fly as it flew by, and a literal screw had been sharded out. And I was like, well, the Juice WRLD concert's gonna be really good after this. Anyways, we got on and found our seats and put the thing on, and I don't know what they did, but they had cranked that speed up to the max. And you know what? It surprisingly didn't fall apart, but instead I just passed out like a little infant that can't stay awake. Anyways, I got off and was feeling kind of hungry, and I saw the cotton candy booth, so I went over to it, and they gave some to us for free because they were so nice. And I was enjoying my cotton candy when my friends dragged me onto this swingy thingy. So I reluctantly gave the dude my ticket and found my seat. And once it started moving, I realized that cotton candy and motion sickness is a terrible mix. They were swinging our butts around this thing like no tomorrow, baby. Because I threw up. And it sprayed on a worker. And I'm never allowed back. Today I went to the fair, so I was laying in the grass trying to get a bee to bite me so that I could become one of them and pee honey and then sell it and become rich. But all I got was a lump and an allergic reaction. But as my throat was closing up, a genius idea came to my head. People buy things that belong to celebrities all the time, and the one time I sold my own hair, I got $20. Now, I don't want to go bald, but what I can do is scam. So I decided to sell Zendaya burps. I grabbed every container in my house and burped in hundreds of containers, and in an hour, I had millions of dollars worth of product. I set up my website, and the burps were flying off the shelves. I finally had enough money to buy my dream purchase on Amazon. So I ordered some uranium, hoping there would be enough to build my own nuclear power plant so that I could live on a deserted island forever. I was waiting and waiting for my package, and I started getting worried. My mailman always loses my packages, and uranium starts to decay if it's not held carefully. And eventually it'll Okay, so I don't think I'm going to the island. I was laying in the ground. I was sitting on the floor eating a Rice Krispie snack when my dad randomly came home with a dog. We don't have a dog. We have a cat. So what is that? And I said, did you just buy a dog? And my dad told me he just bought a dog. So, I guess I have a dog at my dad's house now. And I went to go pet it, but it keeps running away from me and looking at me like I'm a demon, which I am. But it still made me sad. And I was sitting around trying to figure out how to become friends with this baby dog. And then I realized I could probably give it something, like a treat. So I got off my butt and I went upstairs and I looked in the pan. Today I woke up on Mr. Beast's 35-foot tall inflatable minion that I tried blowing up the night before with my lung, but my asthma kicked in and I passed out. But anyways, last week he was like,
Hey Ben, can you make me the world's largest minion?
but I hung up on him because he's not despicable enough. He's like the opposite. He's like philanthropicable. But he called back and I was like, he really is despicable. And I agreed to do it. And ever since then, I have been making sure this minion is perfect. So I got the whole factory to line up and take turns blowing it up so I wouldn't be the only one passing out. And I tried to fashion together a giant suit to fit him, but I ran out of fabric and But finally he was ready. The only problem was when I opened my trunk and tried to fit his body in it, which usually it can fit a few of those, he didn't fit. So I had to ship him in a truck, but I wanted to be along for the journey, so I snuck in while the back door was open and rode in that boy across America until we finally stopped, and I opened the door and... Hey.
Hey.
I got your minion.
Just put it over there.
Okay. Today I woke up on Mr. Beast's 35-foot tall inflatable. So I was completely legally watching a movie today when I won an iPhone 13. And all I had to do was enter my social security number, so I typed it in. And then a week later, while I was blending my candles together to make a mega candle, I got a notification that a package was delivered. So I ran downstairs to grab it, and the packaging was a little strange, but I cracked open the box, which apparently was for the iPhone 14. And then when I opened up that box, they had sent me a toy car. Then I realized it's actually a phone. So I decided to hang up on the 911 operator that I had panic called, and it was pretty cool until I realized it was a used phone. And I think the previous owner was someone's grandma, because I saw in her text she wasn't just having booty calls, but a whole booty conference. Now, I didn't want this phone anymore after going into the images and seeing Granny's Milkies, so I picked it up one last time and checked her contact section and noticed she had her address on there. So I grabbed the phone and biked over to her house, which happened to be only an hour away. And when I got there, Granny is on her Jeff Bezos type beat. So I decided to put my name in her contacts, and then I threw the phone over the fence, and I'll let you know if I slide. So I was completely legally... I'm gonna turn this big ball into a picture of my nipple. You see, I'm trying to get over my fear of having my pepperonis out at the pool, and you can pay to display anything you want on the Las Vegas Sphere. You just have to go up to this machine and pay $4,000. Don't worry, I'm reporting my card is stolen. And then it scans your own balls, and you have to agree that you won't display anything bad. And I said yes, because a male nipple isn't forbidden for some reason. So I gave it a USB that I'd loaded the nip slip onto the day before, and it told me to go outside and look. And just like that, it switched to my nipple. But I quickly realized that my nipple on a ball makes a boob. And then I came to a realization that there's really no difference, and if one can be shown, then all should be able to be shown, but if one can't be shown, then none can. It's a stupid situation. I witnessed an accident right in front of my eyes, and I'm not saying that it was boob related, but everyone was staring at it, and more cars were crashing, and it was creating quite a distraction, so I ran inside the Sphere to try and turn it off. So I scaled the stairs and tried to find someone to help turn it off, and I couldn't find any human employees except for these AI robots you can interact with, and I told this one to shut down, you fucking dinhead! Shut down! Shut down! Please!
I wouldn't advise this. You're all going.
What? What books?
I'm gonna turn this big ball into... I went to Universal Studios today, but when I got to security, I remembered I had a can of spray cheese in my bag, which you can't bring into parks or anything because it's an aerosol, and they're probably scared that I'm gonna, I don't know, like burn down the Minions ride. So I took my bag and went into the alleyway and wrapped it in the label for my Febreze can that I use as deodorant from time to time. And guess what, baby? They never found it when they searched my bag. So anyways, I went on the Minions ride, and as much as I would have loved to set it on fire until it's nothing but smoldering ruins, I had to settle for beating up the Minion in the gift shop. But anyways, after the ride, I realized I was pretty hungry, and I wasn't gonna spend $20 on Harry Potter butterbeer when I can just put butter in my beer myself. So I snuck into the employees only area to eat my spray cheese. And I thought I grabbed the right can when I sprayed it in my mouth, but I accidentally grabbed the Febreze and basically blinded myself. So I asked Siri, call poison control. And she was like,
calling animal control.
and I was like, what? No! And animal control was like, hello, yes, what are you reporting? And I was like, my eyes are burning. And they said, your ass is burning? We recommend Pepto-Bismol. And I knew they weren't gonna help, so I hung up and I made the hard decision to flush my eyes with... I went to Universal Studios today, but when I got to... I quit TikTok 4 months ago because I was cast in this show called One Piece. Today I made a DIY North Korean driver's license by taking a picture with my iPad, and then I googled North Korean IDs and slapped my face on it. And I made it look all pretty by crossing this guy's name off and giving myself a fake name. But I didn't do this so I can get into a club or anything. I did it so that every day I can print a new one and change my birthday to today's date so I can get free stuff every single day like a Starbucks drink or make people be nice to me. Anyways, I first tested my ID at Olive Garden, and the waiter got the whole restaurant singing happy birthday to me. But more importantly, I got a big old cannoli for free, baby. Anyways, next I went to Cheesecake Factory, and I showed my waitress my ID, thinking she would give me, I don't know, a cheesecake slice at Cheesecake Factory. But when she came to the table, she had all these cheesecake slices, and what did she give me? A bowl of berries. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But then she dropped the bill off and charged me $8 for the strawberries, when all I wanted was a slice of cheesecake for free because they're like $10. So basically fake North Korean IDs don't work at Cheesecake Factory. Today I made a DIY North Korean drive. Today I was in the drive-thru line at Starbucks trying to get the Donald Trump drink, which is just a cup that's full of sad old man tears. But as I pulled up, I was feeling generous, and I told the barista, can I pay for the order in front of me? And the Starbucks employee said,
That's so sweet. Let me bring that up for you. Would you like any?
So my dad loves mangoes, so for Christmas, I got him a single mango from Walmart as his Christmas present. But I couldn't just wrap it because it would be obvious that I got him a mango like everyone else does for Christmas. So I grabbed my wrapping paper and I wrapped it as something completely different, and then I put it under the tree. But a few weeks had passed and it started to smell really bad, and when I checked it, the mango had molded. So I had to throw the whole freaking present out and wrap a brand new mango. But I had run out of wrapping paper, so I got in my car and I drove back to Walmart and I found a tube of basic wrapping paper. And then I pretended it was a sword and I was swinging it around, but I accidentally killed a minion. Anyways, then I was bored in line, so I screamed into it like a horn and I said, "Arby's, we have the meats." Anyways, I got home and I cut up the mango. I grabbed a random DVD case and I put all the mango slices in it. But my dad's cat tried eating it. Ugh. And then I wrapped the Lego Star Wars for Xbox 360 disc case and put it under the tree. And when I woke up this morning on Christmas, I gave it to him. What? So my dad loves mangoes.
Today I texted my crush that I love her and want a relationship, and I felt like throwing up until she replied with, "I'm in Lisbon." And then she sent the Portuguese flag, I think. I don't know, I'm not good at geometry. But anyways, I wanted to surprise her, so I booked the next ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. So I packed up my stuff and went to the airport, and it was a 30-hour journey, but it was in the name of love. And when I landed, I realized I should probably get her something as a gift. So I walked into a store and came across these very interesting frozen feet in the freezer section, and I thought, who would want to suck on feet? Oh, me. So I bought them and opened up the box and ate every last foot, and they tasted like strawberries. I don't know why I was expecting foot flavor. Not that that's what I wanted, but anyways, I got the bright idea.
Bad and bougie. What's your dog? Put my wrist up his ice time. Yeah. Breaking back for a bitch, kill a python. PS. Yeah, come through like a lean spell. These niggas better clean their act up. Yeah, turn them into full like a score. Lunch get packed up. Sipping purple stuff, my whole clique purple badged up. Yeah.
All the popsicle sticks and make a little fun DIY bracelet out of them with hearts on it. So I did just that, and then the next day I was gonna give my crush the bracelet. So I went to DM her and asked her to meet up and realized she said I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. Today I texted my crush that I love her and want a relationship, and I felt like throwing up until she replied with, "I'm in Lisbon." And then she sent the Portuguese flag, I think. I don't know, I'm not good at geometry. But anyways, I wanted to surprise her, so I booked the next ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. So I use my mom's Facebook Marketplace for buying clothes and organs sometimes, but today I saw that Taylor Swift's private jet was selling for $1,000 because she got in trouble for flying them every single day or something. But I thought, I'll take it, and I messaged them and hurried to the bank to take out $1,000 in cash. And I brought it to the address, which was her own airline hangar, and when I arrived, I saw the plane, and I took a bunch of pictures in front of it and then went through her makeshift security. But when I got there was a little party going on, and I was like, oh, fun, and I participated in the party, but then it got a little rowdy, and I asked, can I own this plane still? And it turns out some rappers bought it before I could and started filming a music video in it. But I was still bitter from being outbid, so I pulled the emergency latch and breached the airlock, and now I have the whole plane to myself.
Hey guys, just got first class, and they gave us free orange juice, free a little mask that come down and put you to sleep.
I use my mom's Facebook. I opened my window for the first time in weeks today to collect a bunch of my fly friends. But they were being very lazy, so I decided to harvest them and put them to work. For example, say I don't want to pay for my $21 breakfast burrito, I simply call my fly babies into battle and leave a body on the plate when I'm finished. Sometimes, for good measure, I'll even put one in the water. Then I call over the manager and tell him that there is not only a fly in my food, but I am gravely allergic to the fly. Then when the bill comes, I change the total to a negative, and then they pay me back. Another great reason why you should always carry a bag of dead flies with you is for retail therapy. I want to treat my mom with some makeup, so I simply find a tester and drop a quick friend on it. Then I take it to the front counter and tell them that I could have put a fly in my mom's eye. Then they give it to me for free and I go about my day. But guess what? It even works at Olive Garden. After I'm seated, finally, I get my free breadsticks and I take one into the bathroom and sacrifice one of my babies for the cause. Then once the fly is on the breadstick, I exit the bathroom and walk over to the management and tell them that there is a fly on my breadstick. And boom, refund. I opened my window for the first. I was enjoying some banana on the cob and scrolling through TikTok when I saw someone playing this Mario Kart in real life game. So I took my friend's credit card and ordered it. But when it came in the mail and I actually got to open it up and play it, the game was about as fun as listening to Ed Sheeran out of your own free will. So not fun at all. But you know what? It was okay, because I bought it for the only purpose of seeing if I could take it through a drive-thru and ordering something. So I strapped my credit card to it and a walkie-talkie so that I can order through the microphone. And I taped it to Luigi really good and then drove all the way over to Popeyes. And it was time to release Luigi and see if I could succeed
successfully order a fry. I set everything up, and then just like that, the little Italian was off. But as he drove up to the microphone, I didn't think they could see him, so at first I did some donuts to get their attention. And then as I was spinning him around, they were like... And I was about to tell them my order when I saw there was a car coming into the drive-thru. I panicked and grabbed my Switch to try and drive away, but it said it was disconnected, so I ran over to the drive-thru and our favorite plumber Luigi was killed by a Mitsubishi. Anyways, the funeral is on Monday. Please comment your condolences if you would like to attend.
I was enjoying some fresh strawberries when my doorbell rang.
I wasn't expecting anyone, but I went and answered the door anyways.
No one was there, but whoever rang the doorbell had left an egg? It was covered in blue speckles and it was warm. But I decided right then and there, I'm gonna care for this egg until it hatches and be a bird dad. I made a little house for it by grabbing a box and putting grass in it.
Then I set up a heat lamp so the egg would be nice and toasty.
But I was getting bored of waiting for him to hatch, so I decided to take him on a walk. Well, it was more of a roll. I taught Egbert how to skate and showed him to my dog, but then she tried to eat him, and I was like, after a week, my son started to get an attitude. He would just roll away from me when I was talking to him and then go play Fortnite all day.
But then one day we started arguing because the place was a chicken coop, and I got so mad I stormed off.
I started to feel bad, so I went to go say sorry, but he was gone. I ran outside and I looked everywhere for him. I checked the patio, I went and looked in the garden. I was starting to freak out when... Egbert?
Today I accidentally burned out my house because I was boiling Listerine and Red Bull to make delicious tea when I saw a wasp had waltzed into my house. And I'm extremely allergic, so I grabbed a container to try and capture him so I could send him back to hell. And I got him, but then I realized if I try and get the lid on, he's gonna fly out and sting me, and then I will end up in hell and he will haunt me forever. So I dropped it and I ran and grabbed a piece of paper and then
Horror movie killers that are unbeatable.
We all know that person who watches horror movies.
Unbeatable.
And smugly says, I would have survived that, or
Yes, but not smugly. It's just a fact.
I would have just done this instead. This movie is so bad. The
Yeah.
characters are so stupid.
Yes,
but
yes.
after watching hundreds of horror films and analyzing all of your guys' crazy comments, I
Talk to
can
me.
confidently tell you, you wouldn't survive these horror movies I'm about to talk about.
I'm surviving
They-
hard eyes easily, but
Not a
continue.
chance. Because not even the smartest or the fastest or the strongest among you would be able to survive the movies we have for you today. And the most terrifying one, it's not what you're even thinking. I'm gonna guilt trip you into subscribing. The dog gets a boop and a pet every single time someone likes this video and subscribes.
If you throw that dog in the oven, I'll like and subscribe. How about that? Roast it for me.
Thanks. His name's Flapjack. Let's kick things
Turn him into one. I'm sure he's delicious.
off with Heart Eyes, a movie that proves how screwed you'd be when the very people supposed to protect you are actually the ones hunting you down. You know that sinking feeling when you realize the Wi-Fi is about to go out? Multiply that by about 1,000 and you're still not close to the dread of discovering that you're
Yeah.